Catherine, this is a deeply personal story of two women. One lost her dad to suicide. The other attempted suicide. A story tonight of loss, addiction, and hope for second chances.
The lie that I believed that ultimately led to the suicide was that my kids would be better off without a mom like me. I attempted suicide in 2017.
On what date?
April 21st.
April 21st, 2017 is a date Kelsey Igason will never forget. It nearly ended everything. Her addiction, her shame, her pain. But it also marked the start of a new chapter, free from drugs, and filled with the role she had always dreamed of, being a mom.
My dream was to be a mom, but at the rock bottom of depression, the one thing that I loved the most was also my reason for justifying, not being alive.
Her struggles began long before motherhood. In middle school, a battle with mental health. In high school, Kelsey turned to alcohol, marijuana, and crack cocaine. For a decade, her life cycled through treatment centers, counseling, and juvenile hall.
When you go from being like a cheerleader to juvenile hall, you lose all of your friends. And when you come out as an addict, people think you're a bad kid. And so I was just really isolated.
At 19, pregnancy brought sobriety. 5 years later, Kelsey married, had another son. But postpartum depression led to a relapse, back to alcohol, back to cocaine.
I cracked. It's the best way I can describe it, is I just was okay, I don't want to be here. I cannot do this. I'm ruining everyone's lives. I woke up in the hospital, and I remember I immediately was I'm such a disappointment. I couldn't even protect my kids from me.
That was 8 years ago. Today, Kelsey is 8 years sober. She and her husband, Tim, welcomed two children and recently a puppy. They named her Penny.
When you look back on what life has been like and all that you would have missed out on, what does that look like?
I think about that every time, when my kids say, "I love you."
"I love you" were some of the last words Samantha Lambert heard from her dad.
He had been at my house literally the week before for Thanksgiving. I hosted Thanksgiving at my house. Everything had seemed perfectly fine.
But in 2014, during what appeared to be a normal holiday, John was quietly saying goodbye.
He was usually the photographer, but this time he was going around making sure that he was getting pictures with every single person individually.
No one knew John had been planning to end his life.
This is a man that had always seemed so mentally strong to me, and I saw no signs at all that there were any sorts of mental health struggles or that he was hurting. He seemed happy.
That's not uncommon, says Gleyra Castro, with the Outreach and Engagement Division of the Fresno County Department of Behavioral Health.
We do see that men are less likely to reach out for help.
The data proves it. In Fresno last year, 74 men died by suicide compared to 23 women. The most at risk, men over 35. The highest numbers, over 65.
Though we do see the risk within our middle-aged men population, we want our community to know that help is available, suicide is preventable, and our community is not alone.
For Samantha, the loss is still deeply felt.
I still miss my dad. I think of him often, especially when milestones in life happen, there's that void where I feel he should be there and he's not.
Kelsey, now living out her second chance, wants others to know their pain has purpose.
The world doesn't need perfect people to make it a better place. The world needs healed people who share and who love. It's in our deepest pain that we find our greatest purpose. So please don't give up. Get help. There's people who will love you.
There's people who will love you. I thank Kelsey and Samantha for being so brave to share their stories with us. If you or someone you know is feeling depressed or thinking of suicide, there are so many resources here in the Central Valley. People right now who are willing to help. You can call 988 or reach out to Fresno Cares or survivors of suicide loss. The contact information is included in this web story on yourcentralvalley.com.